Event Horizon, gravity drive, maddening dimensions, and the lingering mysteries that make this film a modern Lovecraftian parable remains one of the most singular exercises in science fiction horror. Released in 1997 and directed by Paul W. S. Anderson, with a cast that includes Sam Neill, Lawrence Fishburne, Joely Richardson, Kathleen Quinlan, and Jason Isaacs, the film stages a claustrophobic confrontation between human ingenuity and an incomprehensible, reality-warping malignancy.
Oh my God. What happened to your eyes?
We're going. We won't need eyes to see. I created the Event Horizon to reach the star.
Welcome to the cabin.
What was it you said?
The cabin of horror.
Is much.
I don't think so.
An artificial to another dimension. A dimension of pure chaos.
He's bleeding out, but he's still driving.
Pure evil.
It'll take the Lewis and Clark 1,000 years to reach our nearest star. But the Event Horizon could be there in a day.
If it worked.
You can come down, it's perfectly safe.
Its premise is stark. An experimental gravity drive opens a gateway to a hellish dimension, and 7 years later, a rescue mission boards the derelict vessel to find that the ship has not returned empty-handed. The setup is economical and effective. In 2040, the experimental Starship Event Horizon, equipped with a gravity drive intended to fold space-time for faster-than-light travel, launches and vanishes beyond Neptune during its first test. The device operates by aligning 3 magnetic rings to create a shortcut through the fabric of space.
This is the gateway. Now, these 3 magnetic rings, when they align, it creates an artificial black hole, which allows the ship to travel to any point in space.
Essentially producing an artificial black hole that could connect distant points instantaneously. When the Event Horizon reappears 7 years later in a decayed orbit, having transmitted a garbled distress signal, the United States sends the Lewis and Clark, a rescue vessel captained by Miller, to investigate. Dr. William Weir, the drive's designer, has a personal and professional stake in discovering what happened and is brought aboard when the ship's transmissions are partially decoded. The cast of characters is compact and focused on archetypes common to both space opera and horror. Dr. William Weir, Sam Neill, is the brilliant but fragile scientist whose creation is the catalyst for catastrophe. Captain Miller, Lawrence Fishburne, is the duty-driven leader tasked with keeping his crew alive. Lieutenant Stark, Joely Richardson, serves as officer and moral anchor. Peters, Kathleen Quinlan, is the distraught medical technician whose personal trauma will become a target of the ship's manipulations. Justin is the young engineer. Cooper is the pragmatic rescue technician. And DJ, Jason Isaacs, operates the ship's communications and systems. Their personalities and vulnerabilities become fodder for the movie's central horror. The ship does not merely behave like an inert machine gone wrong, it seems to reach into the mind and memory of anyone who boards it. The rescue mission's chronological arc is brutally efficient in building dread. Upon arrival, the Lewis and Clark crew notes that the Event Horizon is broadcasting intermittently and appears physically intact, but eerily lifeless. Boarding reveals a ship whose interior architecture is as much cathedral as Starship, cruciform silhouettes, vaulted corridors, and ornamentation that reads like techno-medieval sacrilege. The medical bay and living quarters have become a tomb of violent tableau, corpses suspended, rooms defaced, and signs of ritual degradation everywhere. The atmosphere is oppressive, and the Oscar-worthy production design makes metal feel ecclesiastical and clinical suffering feel ritualized. The gravity drive's central chamber is the locus of the film's nightmare. When Justin explores and touches the circumference of that core, he encounters a viscous, electrically charged black fluid and becomes incapacitated, a first domino in the ship's systematic devouring of crew sanity. What follows is a series of escalating phenomena, tailored hallucinations that prey on personal guilt, an apparent reification of trauma into physical apparitions, and the ship's systems turning maliciously against intruders. Peters repeatedly hallucinates her paraplegic son. Video logs reveal that the original crew succumbed to depravity and ritualized self-mutilation.
Miller?
And the ship's messenger appears to alternate between cries for rescue and invitations to liberation. The film frames these occurrences as symptomatic of one of two possibilities. Either the ship opened a gateway to a demonic, Lovecraftian realm of metaphysical evil, or the gravity drive's contact with a non-Euclidean anomaly produced an emergent, sentient intelligence that weaponizes human memory. Thematically, Event Horizon traffics in cosmic horror. Its dread is less about gore than about the erosion of epistemic certainty. Reality itself becomes plastic, memory becomes an instrument of torture, and the boundary between mind and environment collapses. This is pure Lovecraftian DNA, an unknowable beyond that corrupts human comprehension and shatters sanity. The ship weaponizes guilt, dredging up the dead and the shameful to provoke self-destruction. Technological hubris is center stage. An apparatus designed to overcome distance becomes the literal bridge to a realm that undoes the travelers who attempted to wield it. The film's motifs, cruciform layouts, stained glass-like lighting, a central chamber resembling an occult altar, reinforce the sense that the Event Horizon is a desecrated temple of engineering. At the mechanics level, the film is meticulous enough to feel plausible while remaining unapologetically metaphysical. The gravity drive uses magnetic rings that align to open a dimensional gateway. The ship's architecture deliberately resembles ecclesiastical space, thereby making its corruption feel sacrilegious. Manifestations include a mercury-like black fluid that behaves with intention, white light whirlpools that mimic gravitational anamorphosis, and recursively layered spatial planes that break geometric expectation. These elements not only serve visual shock but also underscore the conceptual thesis. Technology can create portals not only in space, but into psychological terrains that humanity is not equipped to navigate. Event Horizon's horror also draws inspiration from seafaring ghost ship narratives. Its structural kinship with films like Ghost Ship is evident. A derelict vessel, mysterious transmissions, and a rescue crew that finds archived evidence of the past crew's descent into madness. Yet Event Horizon merges seaborne superstition with cosmic speculation. The result is a hybrid genre specimen that pulls from both religious iconography and speculative physics, producing an atmosphere of vertiginous dread. Comparative readings broaden into speculative intertextuality. Fans and theorists have drawn parallels between Event Horizon's portal and the warp of the Warhammer 40,000 universe, a psychic sea inhabited by demonic entities that twist the minds and bodies of those who traverse it. Similarly, the film's depiction of layered, incomprehensible planes and psionic predators evokes the Far Realm archetype from tabletop role-playing lore, an alien geometry that corrodes sanity. Such analogies are not literal claims about the film's universe, but serve to illuminate why Event Horizon resonates with audiences fascinated by narratives of incomprehensible otherness. The narrative arc culminates in sacrificial tragedy. Dr. William Weir descends into madness, his grief and guilt over a lost wife twisted into complicity with the ship's purpose. He eventually activates the drive in a final, fatal act. Captain Miller, recognizing that the ship must be prevented from returning to whatever it touched, sacrifices himself by splitting the Event Horizon, detonating a corridor to separate the possessed aft containing the gravity drive from the front module used by the rescue crew as an escape. The severed section detonates and disappears into a whirlpool-like rupture, leaving survivors adrift both physically and psychologically. In the epilogue, Lieutenant Stark, Cooper, and a hollowed Justin are recovered, but they are irrevocably changed. PTSD, flashes of the ship's visions, and the possibility that not everything was destroyed linger. Production history and legacy add layers to the film's mythology. A longer director's cut exists in contrast to the released theatrical version, and continuing industry interest has mounted, with adaptations and a potential television revival discussed in subsequent decades. The film achieved cult status among sci-fi horror aficionados due to its uncompromising aesthetic and its willingness to let questions fester rather than tidy them. Its visual language, corridor-based terror, tech-noir ecclesiastic design, and a central engine that is equal parts machine and altar has influenced video games, films, and other media seeking to blend cosmic dread with industrial production design. Open questions persist and fuel fan debate. Did destroying the drive fully sever the link to the hellish dimension, or did the escape merely delay a further incursion? How much of the corruption was supernatural versus an emergent property of technology instrumentally weaponizing human psychology? What ultimately became of Miller, Justin, and Dr. Weir beyond the film's frame? These ambiguities ensure that Event Horizon remains fertile ground for speculation and interpretation.
I see.
We won't need eyes to see. I created the Event Horizon to reach the stars. She's gone much, much farther than that. She tore a hole in our universe, midway into another dimension. Dimension of pure chaos. Pure evil. When she crossed over, she was just a ship. When she came back, she was alive.
Immense power to bend space-time. Look, it'll take the Lewis and Clark 1,000 years to tell you're a star. The Event Horizon will give you a day. If it works. Come back, perfect say. He could have gone wherever the Event Horizon is. Theoretically, yes.
Look at her, Miller. Isn't she beautiful? You want to know? I will find out.
Thanks for watching The Cabin of Horror. If you like this sort of content, be sure to comment your theories or scariest moments. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. And thank you for being part of our community.